I promise it's a good song. It's Action Bronson for you.
No, you hear me. Bam, bam. Bronco. White one. Queen shit. Motherfucking World Cup starts today. You better be watching that shit in Spanish. Pussy. You can keep your little bullshit advanced. Understand I'm in the Amazon chewing on plants. Motherfuckers can't afford me. Plus I'm in the middle of this orgy. And sit me back in like 40. Shit, I live so much, no time for looking back. Only up cause there's no roof on the truck. You can shoot a duck. I know that's cool as fuck. And no, I wouldn't recommend it that I mentioned. A Porsche 911 got a second engine. Send your boy into the seventh dimension. Shit, hell is cheap, baby. Heaven's expensive though. Yours truly, about to get.
And welcome to the Contemporary Comrades podcast. It's your boy, Sir Heaviness, starting us off as usual. To my right, as usual, I have my right-hand man, my A1 since day one, the creator of the Half-Ass Pod. You already know what it is, man. Corn, say what's good.
Yo. You already know.
DeMarco.
Dude, man. Again, another crazy, 7 days since the last time we've been on here, I believe. Something close to that, man. Quite a few stuff's happened, man. I mean, you talk about Eva Longoria coming out with the statement she came out with. You talking about Joe Biden be officially, well, not officially, but projected to be the official president. So, and we'll get more into that as well. I mean, a lot of shit happening, man. Hey, movie theaters might come back open in a couple months. Who knows, man? But at what cost, right?
Right. We'll probably get into a little bit of that tonight, for sure. But yeah, man, as you're coming in, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We put out some banger videos the past week to 2 weeks. Actually, all of our videos are bangers, but you know what I'm saying? We dropped a lot of shit for y'all, a lot of knowledge. So make sure y'all stay tuned in so y'all can actually see that shit when it comes out. You feel me? But yeah, man, like I guess it's fuck it. Let's get into this election shit, man. Yeah, and by the way, we started late because YouTube was fucking up. I see a lot of people still think it's fucking up. Because everybody who's starting to stream right now has like no views. So
including us.
Including us right now. Yeah, so yeah, as you come in, I was probably late. YouTube fucking works now. All right. Thank you to the YouTube gods for nothing. Anyways,
for nothing.
Anyways, man. So this election, man, or this quote unquote election, man, where I don't even know. We were having this discussion a little bit before we even started. Like, I don't even know where to fucking start, right? So you brought up the great ideas. We'll just say how we felt about the results and about the night and about everything that's gone into play, and then I guess we'll dive into a little bit about that. So I guess I'll go ahead and go first. At first, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. And I don't know if anybody remembers when we were doing our 4-hour plus live stream election night, which by the way, y'all should check out. It was fire. I don't know. Yeah, please do that. But we were zooming in state to state. Every state that it had, a color put up, we were zooming in looking. And dude, it was like 85% red counties for every state that we looked. Now, granted, we got off the stream about 1 a.m. I know shit changed drastically after about 5 a.m. Everybody's talking about the grand, the mysterious 150,000 votes or whatever. Everybody's been kind of raving about, but yeah, it didn't go how I had been saying it was going to go, and how we kind of really been saying it would go on this cast, which is that Trump would pretty much pick it up. And within now, just for me personally, within seeing how it went down and seeing the aftermath, I've now connected more dots as to why it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, and it's becoming more and more evident that. So, this is my little theory on this. I don't know, you think of it what you will, but you know how we always say, presidents are puppets, yada yada. Look, don't get me wrong, Trump is indeed a president for a reason, right? Therein being a puppet, but I think that he didn't do something that he was supposed to do, or I think that he was doing his own thing, or giving too much, or doing too much of something that he wasn't supposed to do, because the way this whole voter fraud shit has laid out, and the shit I've seen come from the Biden camp since, basically getting victory declared via a media outlet, not any sort of actual, authority on who actually becomes the president.
Yeah.
Again, that's a whole nother topic. We'll probably get into that too, but yeah. So I think that Trump pissed off one of the string pullers. You know what I'm saying? I think he pissed some of them off, and I think he's paying for it personally. And I think that's what he's actually fighting. And what's funny is my story kind of goes along with that, because I saw an article the other day where somebody I can't remember what it was. I didn't actually read the article, but the title said something along the lines of
that is scary.
Yeah. It wasn't me.
I got my phone. Sorry.
No, you good. But yeah, the title of the article said that they were worried that Trump was going to spill national secrets. I'm just like, bruh, do you really think he's going to do that? I don't think he'll go that far. That's he could get thrown in jail for the rest of his life for doing some shit like that. Like, I don't like that. That to me is going a little too far. But I think that Trump was, I don't know, man. I almost see him as like a you know what, we'll give the American people, we'll let them choose this time, and we'll see what happens, type of thing. They're in, well, actually no, I can't say that. I'll say it more of as like, I think he took the presidency knowing he was supposed to do specific things, and then after getting in the seat, he did other things.
But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But no, go ahead. What was you gonna say though?
If that were the case, wouldn't it have gone in Trump's way?
No, because he can't. No, I would say no. And I would say this. I think it did go in his way. I think he did get the majority of the votes. But I think that because we were looking at it that night, right? We saw it. Now, granted, like I said, we stopped the stream early, but we saw it. I think that he did get the majority of the votes, but I think that and this isn't me being some fucking white ring. Don't even get it twisted, fam. I think he got the majority of the votes, but I think that the switcheroo was already in place because of the fact that he has been pissing some people off. I really think that he like pardoned one too many, black person out of jail. I think he, like honestly, like I think he, he was moving America out of the direction of the global agenda that it basically is at play here. He was putting America first. He was bringing things back to America. That's not going to bring about this new system of government they want to bring about. So that's why I think that he wasn't serving the ultimate agenda. He was serving agendas, but not the ultimate agenda, which is this whole one world system of governance, this whole, this great reset that everybody's talking about, and all this tied in with all this COVID pass, all this 5G, it will be here, especially if Joe Biden becomes president, because he's a typical president in the sense of he pushes every agenda, the overarching agenda. He plays his part in that. I think Trump said he would, but then he didn't. And he based his campaign off of it. He ran the country like a business. Basically, he didn't run it like a president. He ran it like a business owner. So, and I think that's what they didn't like because it was re-strengthening America in some form or fashion. Unemployment rates among minority people were at an all-time low. I'm just saying, like the dude did some things. So I don't think that was the right things that they wanted him to do. So I don't know, man. So that's why I think that we're seeing this whole voter fraud shit, and that's why I think that he's trying to like fight it because. I mean, fuck, the dude's never quit on anything. It's like, why do people expect him to stop to not, pursue litigation?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Al Gore did in the year 2000. So, again, I'm, that went to the Supreme Court, dude. That took 47 days to decide that president. So we're not even anywhere close to that yet. So I'm just saying this type of shit has happened before in one form or fashion. But what do you think, man?
All right. so yeah. So after you put out your points, and I was listening to your points. We're talking about, all right. First off, I want to pose this question too.
Okay.
Before I even get to what I'm going to say, do you think that Trump is going to be out of the White House come January?
My gut tells me I think he will be out, but I'm going to prepare for such. But I could see it also going in a direction of him not being out, and then people that pissing people off even more, which would then kind of bring about the same thing at the end of the day. So whether it's at this point now, in my opinion, whether Trump's in or out, the damage will be done. Like the end point of all that shit will be the same because either Joe Biden's going to immediately put everybody back in lockdown, which is just going to crumple the economy, and then there you go. It could very easily do that within if we're in lockdown for another 3-4 months, like a serious lockdown, like more like worse than we were before.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, New York is already in. Which, by the way,
New Jersey,
Italy, and New Jersey. Which, by the way, Italy. And a lot of these other European countries are already in. The UK is back in the lockdown as well. So it's only a matter of time for us, just like it was before. It's only a matter of time. And then we got the lockdown, and it was light because it was Trump. The dude clearly didn't care about COVID. That's one thing you can say about it, right? And because of that, we didn't have a serious lockdown. So what you think Joe Biden's going to do? I'm just saying. Is it what we need at the end of the day? That's not necessarily what we're arguing here, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, and we'll get to the needs later on as we get to the COVID topic. But the reason why I asked you that is because, all right, we're stats aside in terms of the numbers and stuff like that, dude. This started on Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. We learned Saturday. So yeah, Saturday. So Saturday, it took 4 days. 4 days for us to get a projected winner of the presidential race, right?
Yeah.
So here's the gripe that I have. Not necessarily with the candidates, but with the supporters, with the people that voted, with Americans, with the citizens, whatever you want to call us. The issue is this. Why the hell are we jumping the gun? So, which we knew was going to happen. I mean, it's given. We called it way before, we even got close to Election Day, that we knew that it was gonna turn out like this. We knew it not necessarily exactly like the actual result, but we knew that it was going to turn out in a way that, okay, people are going to celebrate way too early. I wouldn't say way too early, but people are going to celebrate early because the media, like we said it before the election finished, quote unquote, or was getting close to being finished. We said it that the media was going to come out and say, "Hey guys, hey look, so and so won." Whether it was going to be Trump or whether it was going to be Biden, and guess what we said was going to happen. And I made a note of this. We told you guys that people are going to celebrate. We told you guys that people are going to be running the streets and saying, "Oh, yes, our Savior has won. Our Savior's take over. We, the people, have spoken, and they have listened to us." Well, I'm here to tell you all today. They don't listen to us. They don't listen to you. They do not listen to the people. Here's the thing about the government. They hear us. They will always hear us. They actually go out of their way to listen to our conversations because they know not how much power we have over them and how much influence we have on them, but how much power we have over each other and how much influence we have over each other.
Yep.
This is the most dangerous part of this entire, I wouldn't say situation, because I don't think, being, the whole being a president of the United States isn't a situation, but of this entire political realm, I should say.
Yeah, that works.
Like, I don't understand how people can just say, oh, they're saying that all you had to do, which is exactly what they did on Saturday. And hell, I'm surprised that even Fox News, those people, they were like, oh, yep, Biden won. Like, and now we haven't heard a peep out of Fox, except for now. And now you hear people, you hear Tim Cass, you hear, all these other people who might claim that they're not Republican, but they still defend Republican until the day they die.
Yep.
But you have all these people, they're saying, oh, well, now they're thinking about next election. And again, this proves my second point from what I said 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
This is a game to all of you. But again, it's not a game where it's like, haha, yeah, we're gonna have fun and do that. No, it's a serious game for you all. You get a joy, and again, I get it. I get it. Of all people, I get it. A part of me does want to get, a little bit into the political realm, but not a huge part of me is like, no, I'll never do that. I'll never choose a side. I'll never do this or do that, whatever. Because it's a game. It's designed to be a game. And I told y'all that this is what they were going to do, that the media was going to come out and say so-and-so won, and everybody was going to have a frenzy. Everybody, you got one side that's going to be super happy, and then you got the other side that's going to be mad or whatever. These guys are already talking about the next election. They gave up already. And I'm not saying, oh, you guys got to stay in the fight, but it's just like, dude, something big is going to happen in this country within the next I'm not going to say the next 2 months, but given until the inauguration being in 2 months, probably something going to happen. Now, again, when we talk about the COVID stuff later, there's a couple other things that, could fall into place because of this presidency. But again, it's not because Biden is in, and I know I'm kind of a little spoiler alert for you all, but it's not because Biden is being put, in the White House, if that happens, because it'll happen either way. But it would make more sense for the people to understand it, and it would be easier to brainwash the people of America to say this happened under Biden in his first week in the White House. He passed it in his very first week in the White House. He's already turned things around. Everyone's getting vaccinated, or he's turning things around. There's we're America again. We're America now. We're a normal country because he's done this or he's done that, and he's taxing the rich and he's doing this and blah 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 whatever. And then you turn around and 2 years later you find out, oh shit, that thing that we were celebrating 2 years ago that we were saying that he was going to tax all the rich white people, and then we find out, oh wait, we got taxed twice as much
per usual.
Oh wait, the Comrades told us that 2.5 years ago, before it was even thought of.
No way.
Oh, or not thought of, but put in the public eye. Oh wait. So I yeah. and I wanted to come out straight out the gate with that fire and let y'all know exactly that we don't gloat or boast or anything about being right, because half the time I don't even like being right when it comes to this kind of shit. Right. But let me tell you something, man. If someone like me can figure it out, and I'm not trying to belittle myself, but I'm just saying, someone like me can figure this shit out, anyone should be able to figure this shit out. Like, it's ridiculous how brainwashed. I was talking to 2 people the other night on PlayStation. Brainwashed as a motherfucker, dude. Try to say people were racist because they didn't like, because niggas didn't fuck with BLM. Oh, you're automatically racist. And I'm like, fam, do you even know what BLM was built behind? Do you even know who funds that shit? Do you know the the puppet masters behind this whole regime? No, they can't tell you shit. All they can say is, "Oh, I'm all for BLM. Oh, I'm all for this. I'm all for that." Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, it is not going to be about any of this shit. All this pettiness bullshit that everybody's arguing and fighting about, and all this stuff that everybody's saying, "Oh, we got to stand up for this, stand up for that," and blah 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 blah. Okay, I get you have to stand up for justice, but there's a difference between justice and there's a difference between stupidity and being blind and being a sheep. Now, again, I don't want to get too far off the subject of the fallout of the presidential campaign, or not campaign, of race, but this just has to be said, man. I'm sorry, like it's just the whole world just overnight. If you just watch the reaction, if you just look at the reaction from Friday to Saturday, dude, it was a complete 180 for everyone. And again, I'm not hating on Biden or anything like that. Cool. Again, to me, there's no difference between him and Trump in the White House. It's just shit's going to go down differently, but it's going to be the same result.
Exactly. It may be a little quicker.
I just think shit's going to happen a lot faster, which again, we're going to get into with the COVID topic. Shit's going to happen a lot faster with Biden.
That's I pretty much share the same thought on that.
But again, with the fallout of this, I don't understand. I'll just end this with this. I don't understand how people can actually fuck that. I'm disappointed in the people and not in the candidates. Okay, that's all I'll say. But again, it's not really much of a disappointment because I was expecting it. And again, it didn't get as bad as what we thought it would. At least not as early. I mean, shit still happened. But not remotely to what we thought it was.
That's true. That's true. And depending on, like I said earlier, if they flip it and Trump ends up getting it, or or if it stays on and Biden actually gets confirmed and inaugurated, that's when I feel like stuff will really start, because again, it's the slow burn right now. So
that's what I'm saying.
Getting Biden
that's a
this,
plan.
Biden that. Yeah.
That's a plan too. That's an outcome as well. That I honestly, to be honest, I don't think I want to experience that.
I don't think I do either.
I don't think I want to experience them saying from slipping them from under the rug, or slipping the rug, or pulling the rug from under them and saying, "Hey, remember when we told you guys about Biden winning? And turns out he didn't, and Trump's still president." So let's see how America's going to turn out now after that. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, and they're not going to do it. It's going to be another May and June 2020 and fucking Thanksgiving 2020. There ain't gonna be it'll be Black Friday, but it'll be I'll even take Biden's words from his last fucking debate that he did with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a dark winter. That's what he said, right?
Yep, that's what he said.
Well, get ready. Be prepared for a dark Friday of Thanksgiving. That's all I'm gonna say.
Shit. Hey, man. I can't even follow that up. But look, actually, I have something I want to say. But first, I want to take just a little step to the left, and I just want to break down the media just for 1 second. So I don't know how many people actually know this, but there are only 6 corporations that control all the mainstream media. One of them's GE, General Electric. They own NBC, Universal, etc. You got Walt Disney, of course, they own ESPN, Disney Channel. You've got News Corp,
ABC.
Yep. Actually, no, ABC is under. Who are they under? Oh, ABC's under Disney. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Disney got ABC, ESPN, etc.
I want to say that's news to me that they are under. I was at the edge of my seat for a minute.
Yeah, no, ABC's under Disney.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, News Corp that has Fox, of course. Time Warner has CNN. Viacom has MTV, VH1, BET, etc. And then CBS, of course, has CBS. Um, and of course the CW. Now the CW is interesting because that's a joint venture between CBS and Time Warner. So you've got CBS and you've got CNN working together on a joint venture called the CW. That's basically what you have there. The company influence is the same. So there's only, I just want to make that known, like the media, when you say, oh, CNN versus Fox and one's got one way, one's got the other way, you think that these companies that own these, basically conglomerates, you think that these companies aren't sitting there talking to one another, saying what, basically bouncing ideas off each other and saying, you're taking this, you're taking this side or taking that side. They all have to talk to one another because they dominate that segment of the market. They dominate entertainment, period, to an extent. So again, to think that these companies that pitch one idea to one side and one idea to the other side and create this division, to think that these companies don't sit here and come together in one form or fashion, whether it be in the form of, hey, we have these secret meetings, or whether it be in the form of, we're gonna go to the Trilateral Commission meeting or the fucking Bilderberg Group meeting or whatever, because they go to these meetings. Either way, just want to put it out there that you're really not getting that much of a choice at the end of the day. It's for when it comes to mainstream media. But yeah, back to the election, man. Yeah, we're in for a treat. We're in for a real treat here within the next few weeks, man. I mean, honestly, bro, you put that shit, you set that shit on fire, dude. I don't have too much more to add to that. I just want to say that I mean, aside from the we told you so, like, like you said, man, we hate being right about that type of shit, and like it's not cool.
Yeah.
We wish we would be more wrong about that kind of shit, and especially the type of shit that we end up like predicting. Anyways, man, I don't honestly, dude, with the election shit there now. I'm seeing, what I'm also seeing now is the memes. The memes are a huge part in keeping this sort of ground roots, sort of like extreme bipartisan shit. Well, actually not bipartisan, that's not the right word, but extreme polarization of left and right going, because you've got one side saying making essentially the same claims as the other side, even down to the nitty gritty as far as like, voter fraud. Now I've seen articles from the left saying that there was one Trump supporter who had tried to get a absentee ballot for his dead grandmother, whereas on the right side, yeah, and I'm seeing on the right side that 20,000 votes in Michigan were of dead people, and then I'm seeing Facebook live videos of people counting ballots, and then they looking for Trump ballots and then they rip them up, and I've seen people stopping people from voting Biden at the polls. So I'm seeing the same dumb shit.
Yeah.
On either side.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said the memes are continuing now is because people are just taking that and making it funny, and then therefore pissing people off who don't feel the same way, or annoying people who don't feel the same way, and then it circulates, and it just keeps, it turns into this tornado of misinformation and bias and
But what do you think they do with that misinformation though, in terms of the people?
They fucking they take it and run with it, and they make sure, and they take it and make sure that it's effective, because clearly it's effective, right? So they know what works. They've been doing this shit for centuries, millennia, probably. At least centuries. So, because again, America is but a little subset of Great Britain in some ways, a lot of ways.
You say that again?
Like America was like, we like our law system is kind of similar to that of Britain's, like in the way
Hmm.
that our governance in a way, aside from having like a queen and all that, but that's England, but yeah, like there were a lot of the founding fathers and a lot of the people who were influential in creating the idea of America were French and British, and they weren't they were not, of course, American, because again this was a settled land. So that's where our influence, and that's where the roots of the country are from. So yeah, man. But yeah, I this election shit though, man. Look, hey, y'all need everybody pay attention. Just pay attention.
Close attention.
Very, very close attention, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of information is getting thrown at you right now, because even I'm having a hard time sorting this out in my head. Um, so just pay attention, and don't be afraid to just step away from the
It,
fire for a few days. You know what I mean?
if you guys have ever seen that meme where that of Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that meme where he's like right on the board and he's got all these notes and shit and he's going all fucking crazy. That's Jaren for you guys. That's
Yeah,
Jaren
man.
for you guys.
Yeah, man. I have
And
to.
for me, all the papers on the floor, and I'm looking around, I'm just saying, we're fucked. Like I tore the whole thing down. I'm just like, we're fucked, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty fucking accurate. That's pretty fucking accurate. Shit, do you have anything any more to say about the election fallout, man? Like we know Trump's, he's got these lawsuits
well,
pending with
they've
multiple states,
brainwashed
and
everyone into us having like an all time high of voting, which I mean, our population is the highest it's ever been. So I mean, it makes
shocker
sense.
there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really, yeah, but I mean, who's to say? I guess getting your booty to the polls worked. What else worked? Having two battle rappers
Two battle
and
rappers.
to endorse Trump, that worked. I mean, not Trump, Biden, that worked. Having, I guess, Cardi B having a little interview with Cardi B and still not understanding a damn word she said. With Biden, I guess that worked as well.
Yeah, seems it
Who am I
worked.
missing? Am I missing anyone? Oh yeah, having Ti. Wait, is it Ti? No,
Right.
it wasn't Ti. No, never mind. I don't want to. I don't want to use the wrong artist. So I
I
don't
know
think it was.
Dave Batista. All of was it all of Suicide Squad, or was it all of
Oh, having The Rock get down on his knees and suck Biden's dick. Yeah,
Yeah, that
I guess that worked.
Yeah, I guess that did work. I heard a door. I was like, what the fuck?
I guess that worked.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
And,
again,
yeah.
I'm not shitting on Biden, and if I am, oh well, because I'll shit on Trump too. So again, they all get it.
Yeah, they all get it.
Same way how Trump had Lil Wayne suck his dick. So,
Oh man, and clearly that didn't work out for Trump either, I guess. But then again, what works out for anything that ends up getting black men's
we the people won.
Yeah.
Remember that, Jaren?
Oh,
The
right,
people
right.
won.
Right, that's right.
Crazy.
Oh man. Hey, look, if you're coming in the stream, what's up? Make sure you hit the like and enjoy. We're talking about the election right now. Well, the post-election fallout, if you will. Ain't talking New Vegas. Nobody will get that joke, but yeah.
Good game.
Yeah,
though.
man. Yeah, it is a good game. It's a good game. Yeah, dude. So I guess at this point, man, we've pretty much covered everything about it. Look, time will tell at this point. Like, we know which either avenue they can take it, which ends up being the same outcome, whether it's within a few months or it's in a year or whatever the case is. The outcome is going to be the same.
Hey, Jaren, I have a question.
What's up?
100% serious.
All right.
I'm gonna ask this, okay?
All right.
Do you feel any stronger as a black man now that Trump is out of office?
Do I feel any stronger? No.
How dare you say that, Jaron?
And if we had any black women on, we could ask them if they feel any stronger now that Kamala is in office. That
A
would
lot
be
of them
good
will say
question.
yes.
I bet you they will. I bet you they will. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Now, do you?
Fuck no, should I?
Now let me ask you this: do you feel any weaker?
Fuck no, should I?
Exactly.
I'm the same I was last Tuesday.
Exactly. Even though it's Wednesday, but
Oh shit.
whatever day it is, they all
I feel
blend
the
together.
same as I did 8 days ago. You know, like yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you that question because I've been seeing a lot of that going around lately on social media.
I have too. Yeah.
And then yeah.
And the reason people are asking that is because the media kept saying was that, oh, record numbers of black men voted for Donald Trump. They can align with his what the fuck did they say? Align with his persona and all this other dumbass shit. Just like that's
And I'm wait.
because
I'm like this is what happens when you give the media crumbs. They try and like take the whole fucking kitchen, man. Like it's like fam,
Exactly.
like just
Exactly.
because you see a handful of black people, period, supporting Trump. Now y'all want to say, oh, they align themselves with like no fam. Who's got the better policy? Why can't it be that? But again,
Right.
it'll never be that. It'll never be that because the way social media is, the way media period has evolved since
Exactly.
over the past 18 years. Was it every 8 years we get a new president? So what, 8 or 20 plus years, whatever? It's evolved. Period. So the way we consume news is way different than we consumed it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
true. That's true.
there's a lot of brainwashing, man. There's a lot of fucking brainwashing.
And a lot of that intel they got from that, aside from of course, the analytics of the voting or whatever the fuck they call it, is there's a big presence of that on YouTube too. And a lot of those guys are popular, so that I think that's where another part of where they got that shit from. And again, that shouldn't really come as any surprise to anybody because how many rappers have had Donald Trump in their videos or mentioned him? You know what I'm saying? Like this is old news again. This is old shit that they try to blow out of proportion to make it seem like it's some sort of crazy, outlandish fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden people have a problem with it, whereas 15, 20, 30 years ago, when Trump never really was that big of a, he was never really that polarized in the black community because everybody had him in their fucking video. WWE had him on fucking Raw, all that other shit, right? When he was still a quote
WrestleMania and all
unquote
that. He's in the
celebrity.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like, bro,
and in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Like, yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Look, there's a lot of unwarranted dumb shit on both sides, for sure. Yeah, man. You got any final words on this election shit, man? You about to get into this fucking.
I will say this. Looking at both sides, Republicans, I wouldn't even say Republicans, but Trump supporters are handling this way better than Biden supporters would. So that I am surprised about. But it's a good surprise feel.
I feel I haven't seen. Yeah, I guess I've seen more.
It's not like they're storming the streets or anything like
right.
Democrats would, which we know would happen especially now if they switched it. So
oh yeah, and if Trump had won, back on the 3rd, it would have probably happened. So I mean, dude, you got what's his name, Van Jones, sitting there fucking bawling his eyes out, dude, because Biden won, and Biden's touting himself as the savior, saying that the country now it's time for the country to heal. Heal? What you gonna help heal?
By banning chokeholds. You didn't hear?
Oh, right. That's right. He's gonna ban chokeholds, so cops can't do
They're gonna
chokeholds.
ban chokeholds.
That's right. And
But
and they're gonna ban
not cutting off your camera,
right,
whenever you feel like it.
right.
Fuck
That's
that,
okay.
you know.
They're gonna ban pistol braces on rifles now as well. On short barrel, technically it's a short barrel, a long barrel pistol, but like an AR or an AK, that's a pistol because of the barrel length. They're gonna ban pistol braces now. So then everybody who's got one of those is now a felon too. So that'll help, right? That'll help.
I really yeah, I need to go and get my registered gun license.
Registered firearm.
Yeah. I really do, man. Especially down here, man. I mean, they have a saying down here, like, you're not invited to my house, but if you show up, you're invited.
Fair, I guess.
Like, I'm like, well, okay.
Alrighty then.
Because they have that whole rule, down here.
That's
if you
funny.
step on a property and you're not invited, then yeah.
Yeah.
You all get the message. But yeah.
Yeah. They don't fuck around. It's basically the
yeah.
the
But it seems like the federal government is looking to get rid of that. So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting, man.
Yep.
Because again, losing in the race is one thing, or winning in the race is one thing. But I think we can all agree that at least all gun owners and people that support gun laws agree that that's definitely crossing the line. So,
yep, and it'll all be hitting at once. We'll have that going on while all this COVID shit's going on, and people.
You already seen the free speech shit?
Yep, free speech is toast. Oh yeah, the fucking fact checking now.
Yep.
Or quote unquote fact checking. We were ranting about that on fucking PlayStation. Huh?
Yep.
We were saying, so this whole fact checking shit. So Twitter now apparently fact checks everything now, as well as Facebook and Instagram. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Instagram, no, because it's like mostly pictures. Nobody really gives a shit. But okay. Twitter, definitely. Facebook, obviously. But they've been doing that for years at this point.
Right. They've been doing it for a while. Yeah. Yeah. And people and Facebook kind of buttered people up to it because it's like, oh, they're doing a good thing. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. They've already been taking people's posts down and shit. Like, oh yeah, they're doing a great service by removing unfactual posts. No, it's censorship. It's literally censoring somebody's words. And
because who's it being checked by?
Exactly. And whose standards of facts are we looking at here? Because what's touted as facts in mainstream media isn't facts. Point blank. So whose fact standard are we looking at? Are we looking at actual facts? Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be in a position that we are in. So are we looking at actual facts or are we looking at propaganda? And I think the obvious answer here is propaganda and censorship. And it's clear cut as that, honestly. Yeah, that's about all I really need to say about that. But if you're still curious, go read their FAQs. They'll tell you what they're censoring. But yeah, man, I'm kind of ready to go into this COVID shit, man, because it's gonna get ugly, folks. It's gonna get ugly. So I don't know. I guess we'll start out with that second link I sent, the Billboard link. So we'll start y'all off easy with a little bit of the
Ticketmaster one.
Yeah, the Ticketmaster one. We'll start you off with Ticketmaster and how they're going to allow you to go to a concert in the near future, right? So this is how Ticketmaster plans to check your vaccine status for concerts. So as everybody knows, I think we talked about this. Pfizer dropped some news on Monday that a new COVID-19 vaccine showed a 90% efficacy rate on an initial trial. So that's got people all excited, which of course came 2 days after Joe Biden was projected. How convenient. They come out and say, "Oh, initial trial shows a 90% efficacy rate." Again. That's just a little theory of mine. Anyways, I'll keep reading. It's giving, concert professionals hope apparently that they can start returning in 2021. And in part, Ticketmaster has been working on a framework for post-pandemic fan safety, as they call it, that uses smartphones to verify their vaccination status. Where have we seen that? Where have we talked about that? I'll keep reading. And or whether they've tested negative for COVID within a 24 to 72 hour window. So many details of the plan, which are still, this article says it's still in development phase, but I think I saw another article where it said that they're actually are not developing it. It's already pretty much planned. But basically it relies on 3 components. So you've got the Ticketmaster digital ticket app, third-party health information companies like Clear Health Pass or IBM's Digital Health Pass. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't IBM and Google just get together too? Huh. Funny. Let's keep reading. And also vaccine distribution providers like LabCorp and CVS. So basically, if approved, as they're touting it, after you buy a ticket for a concert, you have to verify that you have already been vaccinated, which would provide approximately 1 year of COVID protection, or test negative from 24 to 72 hours prior to the concert. So you can't buy last minute concert tickets anymore. You wave bye to that, right? So the length of coverage a test would provide would be governed by regional health authorities. And it says if attendees of a Friday night concert had to be tested 48 hours in advance, most could start the testing process the day before the event. If it was a 24-hour window, most people would likely be tested the same day of the event. So I guess you can. Okay, so I guess you can do same day testing, which I don't. But you don't even get results back the same day, right?
Well, you might with this vaccine.
They're saying, yeah, okay, that's fair. But even then, the test still, unless you do a rapid test, the test still takes 3 to 5 days to come back, regardless of if you got the vaccine or not. So I guess what they're forcing you to kind of go ahead and get the vaccine so you can just get the shit over with. It's like, yeah, here, I've been vaccinated. Let me go to this concert. And then basically it says once the test is complete, the fan would instruct the lab to deliver the results to the health pass company like Clear or IBM. And if the test was negative, they would then tell Ticketmaster, which would then issue the credentials needed to access the event. And it says if a fan tested positive, then they would not be granted access, of course. It says there are so many details to work out, but the goal of the program is for fans to take care of vaccines and testing prior to the concert. And just like I fucking said, and not show up hoping to be tested on site. So, and it says Ticketmaster will not store or have access to fans' medical records yet. I added the yet in. It would only receive verification of such. And it says here the main role of companies like Health Pass companies will be to collect data from testing and medical providers and deliver that to partner companies in a HIPAA compliant way. So basically what we're dealing with here is what we've talked about, I don't know how many months ago, coming to life, just like the most ugly fucking blossom you could ever fucking imagine off of a flower. Just think of the ugliest flower you've ever seen, and it's that times 1,000. And that's what we have here. That's what we mentioned to you already. So as concert goers, Corn has been to a good bit more than I have, but I've been to my share of concerts. I don't like this. Now, I also don't like the vaccine either, as we've also mentioned on this podcast. I don't like forced vaccination. Vaccines, one thing, if I'm being forced, whether, subliminally, like what Ticketmaster's trying to do, or overtly via quarantine centers, which by the way already exist in New Zealand. So if you have COVID, they put you in a little FEMA camp, which basically that's their equivalent of a FEMA camp in America. Whether it's that or whether it's, like I said, overtly or covertly, right? Subconsciously or not. This is the precedent that we've kind of been saying has been set really since the beginning of COVID. We're just now seeing, other main, what do you call them, like other leaders in other areas of life, like other facets of life. Like, so here we have the concert industry. Ticketmaster pretty much gives out all the tickets, more or less, unless you're going to like a really small show. But even then, a lot of them use Ticketmaster. So, yeah, so they've got control of the market. They've got control over that, that area of life, that industry, if you will. They're saying you need to get a fucking vaccine before you can come to our shit, and or make sure you're tested well in advance. And pretty soon that tested well in advance, I have a feeling probably will go away, and you're just gonna have to be required to get a vaccine. But we'll get into why I think that in a minute. Corn, what do you think about this, man?
All right, so we knew this was gonna happen. Like, especially you and I.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this as soon as this shit even popped off.
Yeah.
Again, not gloating, just stating facts. My main concern with this is literally one of the statements that you said earlier in this article, which is this. It is going to be a yearly thing. Your test is only going to last for a year. Think about that. I didn't know that. I just now heard that. And you know what? The first thing that just popped in my head, as soon as I heard that, light bulb went off and everything. What's the shit? What were we talking about last episode? When we did a live stream about, on election night, about when we were talking to Dole about what they're doing with the licenses, what they're doing with the registrations that you go every year to renew. Tracking.
Yep.
What do you think what do I personally think they're going to do with these vaccines? They're going to, maybe not right off the jump. I think right off the jump, they're going to try and see how sustainable is the human body when this shit actually gets into all these humans. When you start implementing a vaccine and forcing a vaccine, I think what they're trying to establish right now is what can the human body physically take in terms of, vaccinations. And in terms of this vaccination, is it going to work on every person that has it? Is it going to work on people that don't have it? Can they not catch it within the next year if they have this vaccine? Who knows? Because again, I don't believe the whole like, oh, it's all of a sudden 90 what was the number? 90 what percent effective?
90%.
90% efficiency rate. So which tells me one of two things, which I have a really good hunch that they've had this all along, and they waited for the right time to come out and say it. Absolutely. So part of me agrees with you on the whole. Okay, this happened. They waited for the whole election to be over, and then for the whole rollout thing. However, listen to what I said. Election to be over, and I mean it's not even officially over, but for us to get a good idea of, okay, people can calm down now. Everyone pretty much has an idea of who won. Maybe, it's at least a projection of who won.
Right.
Now, I think that's mainly what it was. Now, the other part of me is like, okay, maybe they did just now test this on, but out of how many people did they test of this whole to try and say, oh, it's a 90% efficiency rate? So that's my other problem with this. What'd you say?
Yeah. I said that's what I want to know because I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
I
mean,
90% efficacy rate, and that's it.
Yeah, because if you're talking about 90%, well, if it's 90% and you're trying to force a vaccination for the entire country, well, that 90% unfortunately is gonna go way down. So again, is this 90% efficiency rate real? I don't know. Do I believe it? No. Just because I usually don't believe half the shit that they just come out and tell us. It's the same thing with being in a relationship with someone, right? Again, I failed at every fucking romantic relationship I've had, right? Because one of my main things was, my actions did not match my words. That's the same thing with the government. Is their actions aren't matching their words. What they're telling us one thing. Oh, we're gonna have this. Oh, we're gonna have that, and then boom, here we go, another lockdown. They're telling us now. Okay, 90% efficiency rate for vaccines. So giving us hope that there's no other lockdown, right? Giving us hope that all of these things are. Let me tell you something. Fuck the concerts. I want to go to the fucking movies.
I feel
I
you.
want to see new movies. There's so many movies that should have came out this year that I really want to see. So many movies that are supposed to come out next year that they delayed till 2022. I'm already like, dude, can we get something?
Yeah,
Can we get
bro.
something? But at the same time, it's like, man, as much as I love for the movies being, and I know I talk about movies all the time, but as much as I love for to be able to go to the movies or be able to go to concerts or to go to sporting events and stuff like that, like as much as I like to do that, we're gonna be able to do that soon. But at what cost, guys? At what cost? Now, I want to go down to something I highlighted as well. Hold on, let me go back up. Let's highlight right here, and it was this: if the tests were negative or the fan was vaccinated, the Health Pass company would verify the attendee's COVID-19 status straight to Ticketmaster. Now, I guarantee you most people that read this article slipped right over that. To me, that's concerning. Because to me, that tells me that I myself, you're saying that the person or the fan or whoever, the ticket holder can't report it to Ticketmaster themselves. That now these companies are telling them, okay, because let me tell you something, that's going to be statistics. It could be a faulty test. And again, we, and by we, I mean you and I, know about the faulty numbers that they've already given us about, oh, this person had COVID-19. Oh, this person had COVID. It's weird how all these people are being affected by COVID and all these other symptoms, not other symptoms, but all these other stats have gone down. Have you realized that?
Yeah,
I mean, I barely looked into it, but I looked into it a little bit about a week or so ago when we were getting ready for election stuff, just because one of the articles popped up on Google, which is fucking weird algorithm shit, but whatever. But apparently, the numbers of the flu have gone down.
Yep.
The numbers of colds have gone down. It's all COVID this, COVID that.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so that just proves not even our point, CDC's point that they brought up in August, and then the very next day was gone after we finished that cast that day, completely gone. Can't even find those number statistics about the CDC saying, "Hey, look, fam, they're lying about the numbers," and then the next day they're like, "What numbers?" Like that's literally what it was.
Yep.
And now we're looking at this, and it's like, okay, so we can't even tell these companies. We can't even tell Ticketmaster that, hey, I have COVID-19 or I tested positive or I tested negative. There have been a lot of people who have not been able to go back to work even after testing negative.
That's true.
Like it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that the fact that, and again, this might not be a big deal, but to me, for right now, I think this is a big deal. I think this is something that people can't just gloss over. At the fact that I can't tell, because then I look at it the grand scheme of things is, if you're starting it out like this, where you cannot tell Ticketmaster, where you paid your own hard-earned money, that you cannot attend an event because you have it, that now you test positive and then the other company, the health company, sends it straight to Ticketmaster and says, oh, hey, this person has, because there could be a possibility that you tested negative and they still send it
right
without your consent. They still send it, even though yes, you can get into the event or whatever. But there's if they have this clear there's no middleman between Ticketmaster and let's say IBM, or Ticketmaster and Clear, or Ticketmaster and CVS. You know what I mean?
I'll say there are two middlemen. So one thing is you do consent to it when you accept that terms of use. When you when you download that app and give them information to your medical records, and then another thing is there are HIPAA laws. Now, whether or not they play with those laws. I can't really say. I don't really know that much about the medical, but there are HIPAA laws in place that says they have to basically, provide the truth. And I've done some IT work to make medical practices HIPAA compliant. So there are actual things that you have to do. But again, we're talking about IBM. We're talking about Clear. We're talking about Ticketmaster, right? We're talking about the the top echelon of industry here, right? So,
and we're also
do
talking
they play
about
by these same rules?
the health, and we're talking about the health industry.
Yeah,
period.
We're talking about big pharma. Yeah,
where these doctors and nurses, they're not the ones that are in charge. They're just the ones that have to go out and say, okay, this person, there's a COVID test, and you talk to half the doctors, I guarantee you they don't even know what exactly the test consists of, in terms of like how does it tell you that this person's positive? Because they'll tell you the symptoms and they'll tell you this and tell you that, but they won't tell you exactly, okay, what does this test register? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, again, we don't know that. Like, I mean, because we're not doctors, obviously. But again, I'm not a lone wolf in this. Like there are people out there that are saying, like, hey, look, they're telling these hospitals, they're paying hospitals, like owners of hospitals and also and boards and shit like that, all this money to say, hey, we need this many people to register as COVID. We need this many people to come down with COVID, or to say that, oh, this person has a light cough, COVID. Oh, this person feels sick, COVID. Again, I'm not saying people don't really have COVID. I mean, people really died from it. But again, the numbers are faulty.
Yeah.
If your numbers are faulty even a little bit, this should be a concern of yours.
That's true.
If it is not, and I know it's really hard to get 100% accuracy on anything, but you and I saw, you showed me those faulty numbers that CDC came out with. That's a lot of people that they're saying that has COVID, or that had it in August, from February to August, that didn't really have it.
Right.
So that right there was already scary. Now you're talking about, okay, I'm going to go to CVS, get this test. Okay, it comes back negative. Yeah, I can go to whatever. But they're sending a message to Ticketmaster saying that we have another number of COVID. You never know. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm just saying they have the power to do that. They have the access to do that.
Yep.
And that to me is concerning. That to me is scary shit. Because now they're going to scare us the same way they scared us back in January or February or March. Now they're going to scare us even more if we get another fucking lockdown. And like you said, with Biden in there, now it's going to be a bigger ploy. It's going to be a bigger puppet to tell the people of America that, hey, I'm going to do it different this time. And it's going to be a stricter lockdown. And we're going to get over COVID. Well, the lockdown's not going to do it. It's going to be the vaccine. Unfortunately, it's going to be the vaccines to get everybody to stop worrying and to get everybody to want to go. I mean, because everybody still wants to go out, but to get everybody to actually go out again and to go back to normal lives. Unfortunately, they fucked up our lives so bad. Actually, you know what? I know I'm getting way too ahead of stuff and going through all this shit. I'm sorry, Jaron, but
no, you good.
If you ever saw, I'm going to use a reference because it just popped in my head. Spider-Man: Far From Home. Okay, just bear with me here. The movie Spider-Man: Far From Home came out last year, right? Terrible fucking movie. And one of the main reasons why I thought that movie was so fucking terrible, from a comic book movies fan standpoint, is because the main villain, Mysterio, who is a man of illusion, so he gives all these different illusions and shit like that, so that Spider-Man thinks that it's really weird. I don't want to get into all that, but the point I'm trying to make is that in the movie, Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Mysterio, he creates these problems. He creates these villains, right?
Yeah.
But they don't really hurt. They don't really kill people or anything like that. But he puts on this show as if he's the hero. So he comes out of nowhere. He makes these illusions that there's these big giant monsters in the town, these big villains and powerful villains that are going to destroy the city. He comes in and saves everybody because he takes out these villains, right? These quote unquote villains. Because it's in everyone's illusion to make himself feel greater and to feel better and to make himself look like a hero. And everybody loves him. And everybody says, oh, Mysterio will save the world. He saved France or whatever, blah, 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 whatever. That's the same thing I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
That is the exact same shit I'm saying here. People think I'm crazy, but if you study, if you are a nerd of any kind of entertainment, you they tell you this shit. They show you this shit in every fucking form, and people don't pay attention.
Facts.
They don't. Because that's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, here's the big bad COVID. Oh, we took it out with the vaccine. And it's like, it wasn't as, again, like, I don't want to come off as like an Alex Jones type, like, it's not real. But it's not as bad as it seemed. I just don't, I don't think the numbers are nearly as bad as what they make it seem. And I don't think, I'm going to go as far as saying, half the people that have COVID, I don't think really have it. Again, I don't want to come across as like super, tinfoil hattish, but I think half the people that they say have it, I don't think they really have it. And I think they could have something else, but I just don't think that they have it.
And are you saying that because now I kind of feel the same way, but are you saying that because there are like the COVID symptoms are that of a lot of other coronavirus types that have existed or that exist?
Yeah, I would say not just corona. I would say of other illnesses like like flu, right? It could very well be something like the flu. It could very well be something like some other kind of sickness, but nothing as serious as COVID. Because again, we know COVID is a real thing,
right?
But those numbers, the fact that people are saying, "All right, flu numbers are down." When the fuck have flu numbers ever been down?
Not in a long time.
But somehow in 2020 they're down.
Apparently, cold cases are too. Yeah, so it makes you wonder.
They're Mysterio. The government is fucking Mysterio. They're telling you that there's this big bad monster. If you walk out your doors, put on your hazmat suit, walk out there, get in your car, make sure you wear your mask in your car, your whole entire hazmat suit in your car, sanitize every fucking thing in the world, run around and be scared.
Hey, look, and like that George Carlin
video. Here comes January, or hell, early Christmas present for a lot of people. Oh, it's Christmas and we can go. Oh, it's Christmas and we get this vaccine. You know what they're gonna have at your front door, not even your front, in your stockings by the fireplace, December 25th in the morning. A nice old vaccine, a nice little syringe of the vaccine, chilling in your fucking stockings in the morning for Christmas. That to me, that's what people in America are thinking right now.
Along with
sickening.
Along with the QR code so you can scan it and download the fucking tracking app. It's gonna have it taped to the fucking syringe with the fucking QR code. Download the app here.
And this is a fucking game to people because it's people like me that's gonna have to fucking take it in order to have a fucking job. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. To me, it's fucking criminal. And again, Jaron, I'm sorry for going on this fucking rant. I'm sorry. But like, seriously, this is fucking scary, dude.
Yeah,
because we talked about this for 2.5 years, and even before we even started this fucking podcast, we've been talking about this for years, bro. For years. There were years you even warned me that they were doing shit like this.
Yes.
That every fucking aspect of everyone's life is being controlled. Now they're controlling buying fucking tickets to go to a concert. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep. It's been a steady progression of control, and COVID. Like, remember how I said back in March or whatever that COVID is going to be the new 9/11. Look at how that changed, and I'm saying this from a life-changing perspective. Look at what 9/11 brought forth. It brought forth a war. It brought forth a Patriot Act. It brought forth basically your private life being dissolved into nothing, right? And what is COVID doing? It's further dissolving your private life into nothing. Now your medical records aren't private. Now you can't do anything without this company, that company, the third company knowing everything about you, proving some sort of immunity status or vaccination status. The list goes on. And now that's creeping into every aspect of life. So now you're further connected to, the internet. You're further connected to these companies who know everything about you, and at what, like I said, at what cost? Like, at what point? What's people's breaking point going to be? Because because at this point, people are begging, pleading for a vaccine at any cost.
Yeah.
They're pleading for, and they just want to get back to normal. Oh, I just want to go back out. Like I say, you just want to go back to the fucking movies, right?
Yeah.
But at what cost?
At what cost? At what cost, dude?
And I think we know what cost it's going to be, but I don't think people give a fuck. I don't think enough people give a fuck. So,
yep.
And it's going to be to everybody's detriment, and the compound on that, Corner, if you don't mind pulling up that second link. So I'm gonna preface this by saying that I cannot verify the legitimacy of any of this. I'm using this purely as a theoretical talking point. Because again, these are things that we have discussed and things that you can trace to actual, planning that can be verified. But I cannot sit here and say that this is 100% an email from so-and-so saying so-and-so, whatever. Anyway, I'll read it. So this article is from the Canadian Report. Now this has to do with Canada, but I think the implications, whatever the fuck the word is, are the same. So this is apparently a email sent from somebody who is a committee member within the Liberal Party of Canada to some inbox that leaks shit, right? Like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but just listen to what they say in here. So I'm gonna just read it. It's fairly short. I'll read kind of the rundowns of it, but you also can all see it on the screen. So it says, "Dear so-and-so," they removed the name. "I want to provide you with some very important information." It says, "I'm a committee member within the Liberal Party of Canada. I sit within several committee groups, but the information I am providing is originating from the Strategic Planning Committee, which is steered by the PMO. If you all want to look up these Canadian committees, go ahead. I looked them up and they are real. They do exist." And it says, "I need to start off by saying that I'm not happy doing this, but I have to." It says, "As a Canadian and more importantly, as a parent who wants a better future, not only for my children, but for other children as well. The other reason I'm doing this is because roughly 30% of the committee members are not pleased with the direction this will take Canada, but our opinions have been ignored and they plan on moving forward towards their goals. They have also made it very clear that nothing will stop the planned outcomes." So this is interesting. "The roadmap and aim was set out by the PMO and as follows." So it lists off some of the theories and the plans of basically what they think COVID will transform into, and then what they're going to do about it, basically. So the first one here is phase in secondary lockdown restrictions on a rolling basis, starting with major metropolitan areas first and expanding outward, expected by November 2020. Rush the acquisition of or construction of isolation facilities across every province and territory, expected by December 2020. Now, at that point, we already mentioned New Zealand's already got those. Italy's already got those, right? That's not a far-fetched idea. I'll keep reading. Next one here. Daily new cases of COVID-19 will surge beyond capacity of testing, including increases in COVID-related deaths following the same growth curves, expected by end of November 2020. And what are we seeing right now? Record numbers of COVID cases. The U.S. again just breached another daily record of COVID cases nationwide. So again, not a far-fetched idea. Complete and total secondary lockdown, much stricter than the first and second rolling phase restrictions, expected by end of December 2020, early January 2021. Okay, now remember, this is in Canada, but I'm comparing it to the U.S. because there's a lot of comparisons here. Reform and expansion of the unemployment program to be transitioned into the Universal Basic Income Program, expected by Q1 2021. Now, what does that tie into? That ties into the Great Reset. Now, this was something that we had discussed doing a cast on, just haven't done it yet. But I suggest everybody go check out the World Economic Forum's YouTube page and just listen to the motherfuckers talk about what this great reset, this great financial reset that they're talking about. It has to do with debt forgiveness and all kinds of other weird stuff, but it's transitioning people into basically a universal, as in a global standard of currency or of not, I won't say of money, but a more global standard of basically how currency is used.
What you're worth.
Yeah, what you're worth. But go ahead and check out the World Economic Forum's YouTube channel. Go watch their video on the Great Reset, and then you'll see how that ties into that point there. So then they say projected COVID-19 mutation and or co-infection with secondary virus, referred to as COVID-21, leading to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and higher rate of infection, expected by February 2021. That's interesting. Enhanced lockdown restrictions, referred to as third lockdown, will be implemented. Full travel restrictions will be imposed, including inter-province and inter-city. Expected Q2 2021. So if nobody knows what Q2 is, so that's April through June of 2021. Transitioning of individuals into the Universal Basic Income Program expected mid Q2 2021. Projected supply chain breakdowns, inventory shortages, large economic instability expected late Q2 2021. Deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas, as well as all major roadways to establish travel checkpoints, restrict travel and movement, provide logistical support to the area, expected by Q3 2021. And that's where the bullet points end. I want to say I have personal experience with basically getting the equivalent of Nazi papers to go do my job in the event of a travel restriction, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So I'll finish reading a little bit more. It says, along with the provided roadmap, the planning committee was asked to design an effective way of transitioning Canadians to meet an unprecedented economic endeavor, one that would change the face of Canada forever. Blah blah blah. It says here, the federal government will want to offer Canadians a total debt relief, and they say this is how it works. Pay attention. They say the federal government will offer to eliminate all personal debts, so mortgages, loans, credit cards, etc., which all funding will be provided to Canada by the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, under what will become known as the World Debt Reset Program. And it says here, in exchange for acceptance of this total debt forgiveness, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And it says the individual would also have to agree to partake in the COVID-19 and COVID-21 vaccination schedule. Vaccination schedule, and what did Ticketmaster say? Your shit's only good for a year. Remember that. The vaccination schedule, which would provide the individual with unrestricted travel and unrestricted living, even under a full lockdown, through the use of photo identification referred to as Canada's Health Pass. So I'm gonna read that part one more time. So it says the federal government would offer Canadians a total debt relief, and it says this is how it works. They will offer to eliminate all personal debts. So that's mortgages, loans, credit card, all personal debts, which all funding would be provided by the IMF under what will become known as a World Debt Reset Program. In exchange, the individual would forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. And you have to agree to partake in the vaccination schedule, which will give you basically free reign to travel wherever you want. Fam. Now, again, I will say this again. I cannot verify how legitimate this email is, but I want to say that the bullet points mentioned in the projections that they're allegedly planning for are very fucking serious.
Sounds like an accurate plan.
And it sounds like a very accurate plan. Sounds like a very fucking accurate plan. Hey, shout out to Creedlink. He said, "Look at I Am Legend with Will Smith." That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah,
I've watched that movie many times. That's facts, bro. Shout out to you.
Shit, look at all the Will Smith movies. Look at iRobot.
Yeah, look at iRobot. Yeah. Look at every movie he fucking does has an agenda in it. To be honest.
Look at look what's that shit he just did? Not that terrible Bad Boys movie, but
the clone joint.
Fuck. What was that
Why
called?
can't I think of the name of it?
Something with a G, right? It's like Genesis or some shit.
Shit, what's the name?
Gemini
Man.
Yeah. Gemini Man. Yeah. Look, I didn't even see that movie. All you gotta do is watch a trailer. Right. All you gotta do is watch a trailer and see what the fuck they doing. Like,
yep. Yep. So, man, I want to say this is some nasty shit right here. This is some nasty shit, bro.
Even if this isn't real, this is way too detailed for this to not. I don't.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Heavily detailed. It's still ambiguous in some aspects without getting too into detail, but it's got enough detail to be like, oh shit, this could. Yeah, and keep in mind, this is in Canada. It's not far-fetched to think that something like this would happen in the United States. A lot of I'd say 80% of the aspects or 80% of the bullet points that they mentioned are already happening in other countries right now. Quarantine zones are already happening in other countries right now. Second, more stringent lockdowns are already happening in other countries right now. You see what I'm saying? So again, the growth, the expansive growth of COVID cases in the later months of 2020 is already happening right now. The United States just set a record today. So how far-fetched is this really? And I came across this shit, man, and I wanted to just kind of bring it to people's attention because this, like I said, whether it's legit or not, this is from a Canadian website talking about Canada. Whether it's legit or not, man, a lot of these plans are very accurate, I'd say. Very accurate. Corn, what do you look like? You look like you got something to say, man. You got a lot to say.
Yeah, I got a few things to say. All right.
Look, you've been on fire tonight, bro. I just been letting you do. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do your thing, fam. Because
I'm trying. Like, yes, I got the heat tonight, but this is real, man.
Like, I know, bro.
This is upsetting, bro. Like, where should I even fucking start? I mean, the World Death Reset Program. Like, what the fuck? And you know what? You know what they're gonna do, especially here in America. Like, they're going to fool the fuck out of everyone that went to college, guaranteed. Because all you have to say is you'll get 100% forgiveness of all debt. Well, you got debt. Well, you're giving away all your assets. Dude, the fact that they say you're giving away all your assets and what's the other? Forfeit ownership of, so down here, forfeit ownership of any and all property and assets forever. Forever. Now, I know maybe a handful of people that are my age or our age that don't have debt of any kind. Cool for them.
Right.
But they'll get them in another way.
Right.
But for the majority of people like us that do have debt from in one way or another, they are going to snatch. Like, I'm reading this and they're going to snatch everybody up. Right. One way or another, dude. You're talking about this whole debt forgiveness. Let me tell you something, man. Because I don't know anything about Canada in terms of how people. I hear people in Canada are really nice, but that doesn't mean that they're smart.
Right.
And again, I know. And again, to state what you said earlier, like, although this is talking about Canada, the reason why we brought this up is because if this is going to work in Canada, U.S. is going to be looking very close. And I did a video last week on Hap about how, Disney's looking. I feel like Disney's looking really close at all this DC stuff with Warner Brothers. And I feel like the same way with the US. We're looking very close at Canada, at countries like Canada and countries like, UK, of how they're dealing with this whole stuff and what they're going to do, how they're going to respond.
Right. And it's not just our government. It's our people.
Yeah.
Our people are saying Why aren't we doing what Italy's doing? Why aren't we doing what fucking UK is doing? Why aren't we doing that?
Yep.
And they're blaming it on Trump.
Yep. And again, man, like it's so concerning. Like the fact that they would go to certain lengths and say, "Oh, it's his fault," or "Oh, again, man, like how can you blame a president for this? How can you blame one person for this?"
Right.
We let them do this to us.
Exactly.
We let them do this to us, and then now we're talking about now. I can't find a complete bullet to it, but hell, even before I go to projected COVID-19 mutation and or co-infection with secondary virus referred to as COVID-21, leading to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and higher rate of infection expected by February 2021. They're telling you this is going to lead to a higher mortality rate. They're telling you, look, we're going to kill our people. Oh, there's going to be a higher rate of infection. And expect this by February 2021. For free. Like that's...
And whether or not it happens or not, they're planning for it. I just want to say that. They are preparing for it.
The word that caught my eye too was mutation. I don't like that. But like I said before, X-Men. Now, again, I'm not saying they're going to turn us into mutants. Again, I'm not saying like people are going to be walking around being able to, to walk around like Mystique or Magneto or anything like that. You're going to be able to like bend metal with your mind or anything. But mutation is mutation. There's different forms of mutation. Growing a third arm could be mutation. Getting a quote unquote vaccine and then your fingers start disintegrating 2 weeks later, your body starts eating itself. That's a mutation and a disease. And you probably should get help.
Probably.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
So again, like to me, I think they are testing shit on people. Again, to go back to who commented earlier,
Creedlink.
To Creedlink, what he said, like, I Am Legend. Go back and look at that movie. Look at what Will Smith's character's goal was in that movie. Look at what he was dealing with that movie. I mean, in that movie.
Exactly.
I mean, you're talking about people that already, if you look at America, period, people are probably looking on the outside end. The people that don't live in America looking at us like we are that guy that's walking around and talking to himself and talking to his dog like his dog is his fucking wife and shit. Like it, I wouldn't put it past anybody that doesn't live in America that looks at us like that, because we do some stupid shit and like there's no way to justify us just being complete idiots when it comes to having a camera thrown in our face. But
yeah,
and again, I don't want to get too aside of the point, but all this stuff was teaching us. It was teaching us, look, there's going to come a point where you are going to have to take a vaccine. There's going to come to a point where you're going to be forced, everyone, no matter what color you are, no matter your religion, no matter what, if you want to live in this country, you're going to have to take this. Period.
Yep.
Now they're saying, if you want to keep your house, if you want to keep your property, you're going to have to take this. Now I know that's not literally what they said, but that's going to happen, because you're going to have people that won't need it because they are either don't have a job, whether they're retired or whatever, or a housewife or a house husband, whatever. There are going to be some people that won't have to, that in the beginning, they won't have to take it because, this or that. But let me tell you something. You want to go to a grocery store? You're going to have to take it. You want to go to the farmer's market? You're going to have to take it. You want to go get a haircut? You're going to have to take it. You know what I mean? Hell, you want to go to your daughter's recital? You're going to have to take it. So, I mean, regardless, man, this is, again, I hate to sound negative all night about this stuff, but man, this is some real shit. Because again, while we cannot back up the validity of this article and of this page or whatever, but however, this is deadly accurate. Deadly accurate. So even if somebody just thought of this out of their mind, they're not too far off. Somebody did this for a reason. Somebody released this for a reason. Somebody put this on here for a reason.
Facts.
And it wasn't to scare us, it's to say, hey, look, be ready. I'm surprised this happened in Canada. I'm surprised that somebody in Canada is smarter. And again, I'm not calling them dumb or anything. I'm saying I'm surprised someone in Canada of all places is smart to say, hey, let me put this up so that people can see this and see what they're getting ready to do to us. Jaron, does this not scare you? Saying that, hey, this is going to lead to a third wave with much higher mortality rate and higher rate of infection. Why the how can you even say that?
Right. It's I don't know, man. The whole idea of this. Now, again, as you always say with me, I can't have fun doing anything because of what I know and what I've known for quite a while. This is just more of that, in my opinion. That being said, am I scared? I don't think so, man. But am I concerned? Yes. Am I going to sort of prepare for the worst? Yes. But I'm not scared per se. Now at what point can now how far could preparation really get you in something like this, right? Because if you get put in a lockdown, you can't go to work. Thankfully, I'll probably be working and it'll probably be a living hell, but even at some point maybe I'll lose my job, or maybe people who have that higher bit of job stability will lose their job. And then, and then what? Then that's where this UBI comes in, and then that's where this fucking all this other what's it called?
But what about the fact that they're saying that okay, the 19 and the 21 COVID related deaths are going to exceed medical facilities capacity, which apparently they already are.
Yeah, they already are. I know some people who work in the medical industry, and hospitals are already overrun, and also there are in certain states like New Mexico, they are going to the military is going to set up COVID tents for people to be treated because the hospitals are out of space. I'm gonna go into one more thing. Before I do, we have a guest. What's up, Elise? Say what's up to the people.
Hey, you guys, can you hear me?
What's up? What's up?
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you. Welcome aboard.
I can't see right now because I'm on another screen, but what's up?
Oh, okay. What's up? No, I've been listening for a while. I don't know if I can hear you guys on my computer or my headphones, so I guess we'll.
I feel you. Well,
Okay.
Your audio is very crisp, so
Okay,
whatever
good.
you got going on is straight.
Computer.
I was going to make a point about the mutation stuff. So you know how they mentioned that they're projecting a mutation with a secondary virus, which will then require a secondary vaccine, right?
Yeah.
Leading to a third wave with that's way more deadly. Where have we seen that at before too? The Spanish flu, the flu.
I was going to say X-Men.
In general, the flu. You have to change the flu virus every year. The flu mutates every year. So you've got now they're applying that same logic to COVID. So they're basically saying, yeah, this COVID-19 vaccine will only be for COVID-19, but as it mutates, it's not going to be fucking good, or it might not be any good. They're going to prepare as if it's not going to be any good. So what does that tell you? They probably have an idea what the fuck it might happen, what the fuck it might do, right?
Yeah.
At least what are your thoughts on this article? Since you said you heard us read it off, right? This shit's fucked, ain't it?
Yeah, this shit. I feel like it's a fucking sci-fi movie.
That's
like
what
I'm
we
over
live
here,
in.
like I'm like this. I'm like, oh no, like shit's coming true. I don't know.
This is
it
definitely
doesn't
out of a
seem
movie.
real.
Yeah, 100%. Or were you saying, Corn? Were you saying something? At least were you saying something?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, this is 100% definitely out of this. If not just one movie, many movies. I'm talking about the whole like setting up the tent stuff. I mean, I'm telling the viewers, go back and watch the X-Men franchise movies because it will tell you everything you need to know about this shit. Because again, while they might not be making a Wolverine, which they could be, not gonna take that out of the realm of possibility. But again, I would probably be afraid if they're making a Wolverine, just saying, or any kind of mutant. But again, we've seen that. And so instead of them making mutants to fight our wars like they do in the comics and stuff like that. Which again, now I think about it, could probably be a real thing. But anyways, I don't want to get too far into that. But because that's definitely a tinfoil hat moment. But they could be making mutants for other things. I mean, we're living in we're at the very beginning stages of robots. And I know that might sound crazy because everything's controlled electronically, whatever, but let me tell you something. Right now.
Electronics robots?
You say what?
Aren't electronics just like a form of a robot? Like a robot?
Yeah.
More or
But
less.
more in the sense of, and I'm not trying to scare people to talk about Terminator, but I do believe we're in the very beginning because from what we've seen, I feel like we have not even we haven't even scratched the surface of what our eyes are going to be able to comprehend within the next 5 years in terms of electronics and robots and chips and all that. Because I'm telling you, as fast as COVID hit the US, fam, they're gonna do this whole robot stuff, the VR. The VR stuff already went behind everyone's eyes, except for ours.
Yeah, because they brought it in video games first, so everybody's like, "Ooh, I can game in VR." Fuck yeah!
Right.
And look at that show. That, by the way, we're going to review on the show. Upload. Look at what they use VR for and fucking Upload.
Yeah.
And also shit.
Mirror episodes use VR in a couple different ways.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
That whole show is based on people living in a VR afterlife instead of actually dying in the natural way.
Yeah.
So
there's 2 episodes in Black Mirror. There's one where it relates to video games, where you're doing video games, which to me that's one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror because it shows you exactly. It gives you the 100% accurate blueprint of how they're going to implement this stuff into our daily lives. It's gonna happen. But
there's like 2 episodes I'm thinking of. There's the one with like the gopher one, and then there's the one where they like have sex with each other.
Yeah, okay.
There's that one, and there's also the
one with the 2 girls.
Yeah.
Where they're in the afterlife, and the one chick's like the old lady, and then the other one is like,
was that a video game?
Yeah, the San Junipero.
It was VR, yeah, and also the one.
It was a VR thing where they put it like by their ear or like to their temple.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah,
and we can't forget about the one where the guy was like the dude had the fake Star Trek. Remember that one too?
Yep.
Yep. Episode. I think it was first episode of season 3.
Yeah, like I said, in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, Black Mirror, they laid it out and then realized what the fuck they did and said, "Oh shit, we're done with this."
Yep.
I can't blame them, man.
Yeah, they said, look, man, like I think we just said way too much, and they flee. They did deuces, bro. They were out. Bro. They were like, this is getting way too, like, we did this to show you guys, hey, this is what we're doing. But they're doing it. They're like, oh, you guys are the blueprint. We're not giving you guys any more of the blueprint. No more.
No fucking moss.
But again, man, this is scary shit, man.
Yeah,
this is scary shit.
Yeah,
and again, it's who knows how accurate it is, but again, like you said, Corn, you said it perfectly. It was put out here for a reason, and whether or not it's fake to scare people or whether or not it's real, it's pretty fucking detailed and it's pretty accurate. So it's definitely based on real world applications, and that's pretty much what I wanted to pretty much convey is that, you know, no matter the validity of it, the information, it's just like shit that people say who people don't like people always want to shoot the messenger, but then they don't listen to the message. So like somebody could sound crazy or somebody could be projected as crazy or portrayed as crazy, but
or they can hear a part of the message.
They actually say, or just hear one part and not get the whole picture as well, based off somebody who's quote unquote crazy. Like people that shit all the time with Kanye, you hear Kanye and then somebody feels one way or the other. But if you listen to what he says, he makes sense, you know. Right. So, and that's just one of many examples.
Yeah, because if you stay brainwashed, man, you're just gonna end up like Van Jones. You're gonna be a grown ass man crying because of an election on national television.
Of somebody who probably locked up his cousin from his plan. But again, I ain't gonna tell nobody else. I ain't gonna tell nobody else, man. Shit, so
they've all been bamboozled.
Yeah, they've all been bamboozled. But again, at the end of the day, Van Jones is he's playing his part, right? So, and at least if you don't know who Van Jones is, I think he's a
heard the
CNN
name.
anchor.
Yeah.
CNN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, CNN anchor. The other
Was
day
he? Was it
he
CNN or was it Fox?
he's
CNN.
definitely CNN, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was crying with glee because Joe Biden was projected
Tears of
to be
joy.
the president. Yeah,
I mean,
crying
yeah.
with glee.
And I know people who went out and celebrated.
Saying it was easier to wake up a man that day. It was easier to wake up as a father that day. It was easier to be a parent that day. Because crying, boohooing, crying, sobbing, mumbling, all that. He just won a fucking, award for lifetime recognition award or some shit.
What I don't understand is how you're a grown ass man, you let some dude you never even met have that much power over you.
Right.
But again,
I feel like I have to watch. I have not seen this. I have to watch this because I don't.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh shit. Should
Are we
we
gonna
do her that solid? I think we should do her that solid.
Please
Her and
do.
the other viewers who haven't seen this shit. Let me put up the fair use.
I mean, y'all really painted a picture there. I was expecting just like, oh yeah,
it's bad.
Tears of
It's
joy.
bad.
But, like, this sounds serious.
Let me put up the fair use so YouTube don't try and take us down. I know they were down earlier, but I ain't trying to take us down. You feel me? Yeah.
This
CNN's Van Jones brought to tears as Joe Biden wins the U.S. election. Let's watch, shall we?
I'd rather watch the Saturday Night Live skit, but
Yeah, never lied.
Well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Tell them the truth matters. Being a good person.
The truth?
Matters.
and none of that is Biden, by the way. That's what I don't understand.
Right.
If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happy to have babies snatched away or send dreamers.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my. Let it out. Let it out. Yeah. Can you imagine letting politics take over your life like this?
People do it all the fucking time.
A lot of people have felt they couldn't breathe. Every day you're waking up, you're getting these tweets.
Yeah, that's
Every day.
that's
Y'all
enough of
figure that
that. Oh man.
I'm getting nastier and nastier to you. And you're
Corn.
Did you
Corn's-
replay it?
Corn's having a moment, everyone. He's feeling exactly how Van Jones is feeling in this moment. We just have to let him take his time at this moment.
trying to hold it together. And this is a big deal for us just to be able to get some peace and have a chance for a reset. And the character of the country matters. And being a good man matters.
Have a chance for a reset.
Yeah, I heard.
Look at this. Look at this. You know.
Oh, he'll get a reset, all right.
The cheap was-
Yeah.
He'll get that great reset.
with stuff, but it comes back around. And this is a good day for this country. I'm sorry for the people
That's what it's gonna be called, isn't it?
for them, it's
What
not
it is
good,
called.
but for a whole lot of people,
Yeah.
it's a good day.
I will say this though. He did say I'm sorry for the people that lost. So I mean,
He
at least he's
did.
not
I'll
being
give him
about it.
that. I'll give him that. He did say he was, at least he wasn't completely like ha ha, whatever.
Yeah.
We won, fuck y'all. I give him
I
that.
just think that he was really stressed out about Trump, and anything other than Trump was a relief to him. And you could see like that amount of stress was on. Like that's just
Isn't that wild?
Again, I'm saying I can't say anything about him being being a father and feeling that way about someone you've never met someone like I don't understand that. I just don't understand. Like how come you don't feel that way? You know, how come you don't feel all this like restraint towards people when people in the Black community are killing each other? How come he's not having that emotional breakdown then about,
Right.
how come we're doing this? Like, how come we're not seeing these same reactions when real shit is happening.
Yeah.
But we're seeing these reactions because someone was painted a picture. Again, we don't know this dude. We don't know any of the presidents personally.
No.
Okay. And I'm not saying that Trump's not a racist, but I have a hard time believing that he is.
Right.
And I'm not saying like he could be a, whatever, you never know, but to sit on CNN on national stage like that and to break down and say you feel like a better man, you woke up this morning a better man, you woke up this morning and things were better because of a change of president.
Right.
Yeah, because
But
again,
Well,
presidents.
but your community hasn't changed.
Right.
Community hasn't changed. Look at how many rappers have died within the last 3 days?
Yeah.
To do the same violence you were just talking about. Where's his tears for that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How come he's not breaking down for what's his name? Vaughn. How come he's not breaking down for an old dude that got found down in Miami in some dude's trunk? Like, how come he's not breaking down for that? But yeah, he's breaking down because Biden and Kamala, not Black Harris, got won their shit.
Right. And
Really?
and the dude Mo who run with Lil Boosie just died. He got shot on the interstate in broad daylight. They had a video, the cops resuscitating him on the fucking highway. Dude was sprawled out on the highway, shot.
Within the last 3 days?
Today.
Today?
That one I just mentioned was today, but in the last week, there's been 3 famous rappers who died.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We're all
Where the
from
tears?
all from beef, all from none of them were from cops, but nobody's talking about that.
No.
Well, no, I'm not. Obviously, I'm
Right.
hearing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because they don't put it everywhere like they do the white man shoots black man. Oh, well, let's put that everywhere. That's gonna
Right now, it's
like
election, everything, COVID, everything. Right. That's all I ever see.
Yep. That's all.
But let a white man shoot a black man. That's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of mentality is more so within it's woven without our communities and whatnot, but I feel like its main base takes place on social networking. I feel like that's where that negativity kind of lives and kind of festers and spreads.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if social media wasn't there, we wouldn't have. I mean, we would have it. I mean, it existed before. Like long before, obviously social media, but I feel like that has perpetuated.
For sure.
That vocal minority though, in social media gets to the majority, and that's where that clash comes in at is you got these people blabbering, and it's not just, on the political side, it's not just one side, it's both. It's just people in general are the vocal minority on social media that do all that. It's cancel this, cancel that. It's, oh, we're angry because Trump said this or Biden said that, blah, 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 blah. The vocal minority and then the majority where they're just minding their own business, doing whatever, and then they start clashing because it starts bleeding into the stuff that they do in their daily lives, such as just getting on Twitter to search something real quick. Boom. What's the first thing you see as soon as you go into any social media? It's the election, it's COVID, it's this, it's that, it's whatever the media wants you to see. Right. Every single day I open up my app. Yeah. And every single day I open up my app, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or YouTube.
Have the app.
What's those algorithms that they give us, right? It's oh, go follow this or go follow that. And it's like, why are you suggesting me this? And I don't even remotely follow anybody like that. Why I don't even remotely look at stuff like that, and you're suggesting me weird stuff like Miley Cyrus, like what?
Oh yeah, my YouTube is like that. That's the only social media I really use, and my social media is just or the ads will come up and I'm like, that's not related to anything that I've searched, but somehow it's still pushed up to the homepage.
So at least while you're here, I do want to ask you a question though. Mm-hmm. Actually, I want to ask you 2 questions. First one,
I guess I'm
pretty sure I know the answer to, but it's kind of rhetorical, but kind of not.
Okay.
Do you feel any different than you did a week ago?
No.
Okay. Now, second question is, if you could find any kind of solution, and it's a tough one, it's a tough cookie right here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could find a solution for COVID, what would it be to deal with this whole COVID outbreak? What would it be?
That was a Sir Heaviness question right there, bro.
I mean, is there a timer?
No. I
No.
mean, just off the top of your head, like what would you do? Would you go to a lockdown, or would you do vaccines, or would you say, hey, it's not that bad, we're gonna be okay? But again, that doesn't really work because we're already so far into this,
Yeah. It's probably, I mean, the way I see it, it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like COVID is kind of like how do I want to say that? I don't know. It's like some sort of pawn that's been placed in our way, and no matter how you try to go around it, you come out the loser in the end. So I don't think there really is like an ideal way to deal with COVID. I feel like that might sound like a cop-out answer, but
no, it's not. No,
I agree. I mean, yeah.
Truthfully, like I don't think there is a positive way to deal with COVID because, as you guys pointed out, I mean, earlier tonight, you guys were talking about, the Ticketmaster stuff, the vaccine schedule. Like this is, as you said, Sir Heaviness, the, oh shoot, I lost your stupid name.
See, that's what you get for joking.
You're talking about the Ticketmaster stuff.
Yes, the Ticketmaster stuff, the vaccine schedule, like, what you said about it being like 9/11, it's like, it's altering, our way of life, the way that we know life currently, or that we have known it, it's changing. It's like when people had to change the security process to get on an airplane, like now, like you have to get a vaccination, or you could have to get a vaccination to like fly anywhere.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just lose all around. I don't think I think because of that, there is no
right answer.
No right answer. Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. I mean, we're in our last days. I feel like I know it sounds terrible. We are in our last days. And I'm not saying it's going to be like a number thing where it's like we're in our last 365 days. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that they are really fast tracking us into running this planet into the ground. Like in every way possible. We're talking about, like I said all the time, we're talking about global warming. We're talking about robots. We're talking about killing each other physically. Like it's crazy. We're talking about vaccines where the whole world's going to be sick. And they're just going to redo everything. Which again, who's to say, like, we're all human at the end of the day. Maybe these mutations are for the people higher ups. Who knows? There's a whole slew of movies about only rich people can upload. That's all about, you got money, you can buy your way to heaven.
Yep.
And not only buy your way to heaven, you have to buy your way to continue to stay in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, this is some next level shit.
You don't get to control it.
Right.
No.
Whatever that's about.
Right. And do you think that now I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. I'm gonna save that for the upload review because I'm gonna start going into that fucking show and I'm gonna start asking questions. I'm not gonna say it right now. So forget I said anything. I'm gonna say that for review because I'm gonna like spoil the show and shit. So I'll wait. But I was gonna ask a question about basically, fuck it, I'll say it, whatever. So I was gonna ask a question about about control and the lack of control that the average human has right now. Is that, I was gonna say, no, I'll ask it to both of you all. So do you think that the human condition is the reason that we have to be controlled in some way, or do you do you think that we can live in a world of self-governance where the individual governs the individual, the community governs the community type of thing? do you think that we could even ever actually thrive in a system like that, or do we need some sort of top down control to basically keep humanity going?
Do we need to keep humanity going though?
I don't know. I don't think that's up to us, or as far as if we need to or not.
I don't. Should it be up to us? First of all,
Right. That
But-
again.
I mean, I can see how you wanted to tie that into the upload thing because it's the exact situation of what that is.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're asking, you're saying, look, can we govern ourselves? Let me tell you something. Even though in upload they weren't they governed by something a little bit, sort of.
Yeah, they were living in a program, so yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
if because I was thinking maybe kind of in a way how it is, how we've seen with Upload and how we've seen with Black Mirror and how we've seen with movies and other shows where you're living in this alternate reality. Because and pay attention, people, because that is going to be a term everyone is going to have to get used to very soon, sooner than you all think.
Yep.
Is alternate reality. They've been pushing alternate reality since 2002 publicly.
Yep.
So with that being said, would you guys, now be honest here, would you guys consider going into alternate reality?
Nope.
While still being here on Earth? And now I'm not even talking about afterlife. I'm talking about right now.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Elise, why not?
Why wouldn't I?
Yep.
I mean, well, I could get really deep with it, or I could just be pretty basic about it. Basically, huh?
Get deep with it. It's
deep.
Comrades.
It's just yeah.
I like having my self-consciousness. I like having my spatial awareness and control of my body. Actually, one of the reasons why I like to practice yoga is because it focuses on mind, body, movement with breath, and like that brings a lot of consciousness and awareness to my being, my
Right. Yeah.
my consciousness,
Right.
who I am. And I feel like in an alternate reality that would be the case. Also, I kind of take not a sense of joy with the things that have happened in my life that have been bad, or the things that I wish I could change. But I can hear myself kind of echoing, so sorry, it's kind of throwing me off. In a way, like there's those imperfections in life that wouldn't exist in an alternate reality. You wouldn't have that self-conscious or that self-consciousness. You wouldn't have that awareness or control. And I wouldn't want to give that up.
That's fair.
Jaron?
I want to die how I was meant to die. I don't want to have somebody pay money to keep my consciousness in a fucking program.
No, I'm talking about, but you're still alive. You're still alive, though. I'm talking about like right now. If someone were to say, "Hey, there's an alternate reality."
I was like,
yeah,
damn, I didn't really think about like
Still, no, I'm good. I'm good. If I go homeless and whatever because I don't want to live or create a life or create a reality in this alternate reality, so fucking be it.
I
Because
feel like happiness comes from within. It's not about like surroundings or
right.
what like if you're homeless, like it's you can survive. You're a human being. You'll find a way to survive.
Right,
you don't need an alternate reality to survive.
However, I'm gonna get into something really controversial here.
Okay.
And don't know how it's gonna be received, but we'll see. Because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, whenever go ahead now, and then I'll finish my.
The only thing I was gonna say is that I feel like their reasoning, they can roll out this alternate reality stuff, which we already know they've been working on for decades at this point. This alternate reality stuff, in so many ways. I mean, people are not happy with themselves. We've seen that with the transgender, like people change their own genders. We've seen how people change their entire personalities just based off of their environment. They're not their true selves. With an alternate reality, it is going to boost so many people's, I don't want to say ego, but they will sell happiness as a point. That's going to be one of their bullet points is there's so many people that are unhappy in their own normal lives,
Right.
to where they're going to go to extreme lengths to change it in an alternate reality. They're going to live in this alternate reality where they are this persona, they are this person, they are this conglomerate. If you want to go that far, I mean,
That's true.
It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when, you know. And again, I stand with you guys too. Like as again, it's tempting. That's why it's so bad, because it's tempting. It's very, very tempting. It's saying, hey, here's an alternate reality. You can be whoever you want to be, do whatever you want. There's no governing, whatever, blah, blah, whatever. But at the same time, at the end of the day,
What is
man,
it? Is it worth the price though? Like,
no.
Nope.
I mean, we three know that it's not worth the price. Some of our viewers know it's not worth the price, but to some people, man, I mean, you're talking about people with, I mean, all kinds of stuff. They can sell the whole mental health thing, where it's like some people deal with stuff mentally where they're not happy. Go into this alternate reality, all that changes. Go into this alternate reality, you can be whoever you want to be. You can change, you can create your own character, whatever, right? We're again, I know it's very deep and super far-fetched, it seems like, but that's just something that's always been on my mind ever since I've been exposed to that kind of stuff, where I've seen it's like, wow, people really are, if we're brainwashed in this world, so many people are brainwashed in just politics. Imagine, you know, alternate reality comes out. Imagine the VR is forced, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a crazy, crazy world, man. And it already is one already.
I don't know if this is necessarily the same, but I remember having a conversation. It's very odd to say Sir Heaviness out loud, but we're going with it. With Sir Heaviness, way, way, way long time ago. I think we were at a soccer field at like near Beverly Manor or something, and I was talking to you about being in like what if we currently in this this state of consciousness, we're already in a Sims type game, and we're already being told like that. Yeah. But that's what we were. I mean, we are, but like not necessarily to that extent. But I feel like that's essentially what it's getting into.
Yeah, and that's the idea of the Matrix, right? It's like you take the red pill, or you see life for what it is, or you take the blue pill and you go on like nothing's ever happened. That's some real shit. And also that kind of ties into the theory I've put out, and which both of you all have heard before thousands of times, which is, you know, is Earth a punishment for humans in some sort of way? Like, does this exist in this fashion to then make us go through these things for something else cosmically we might have done, you know, however many fucking cosmic years ago, however long that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like who? There's one thing for sure: we're definitely not living the true life that we could be living here. That's for sure.
No, I feel like humans' true like purpose on Earth wasn't to be what we have become. If anything, we're far from what we should naturally be doing, which I don't think involves anything man-made. Not anything man-made. I shouldn't go as far as to say that, but like maybe anything technical. I don't know.
We could have those things.
Cut it off at technology. I feel like I should cut it off at technology.
That's fair. We could have those things though, but it goes back to what I asked earlier, that human condition part. Yeah. It's like, what are we going to do with these powerful fucking tools? And
why do we have to have them? Why can't we just live?
Right, that's fair. But even you're right. Why can't we? I
know what you're saying, but like in my happy little ideal world, we would just live.
All right, it would be a lot easier, I think.
But unfortunately, there's unequal power around the world. and that's why we're in a position that we're in now, where hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I mean, you could probably say as far as thousands of years ago, but kind of gets it's kind of smoke and mirrors a little bit. But hundreds of years ago, that all this was built for us. Period. Like they geared us for all of this hundreds of years ago with power and with unequal power from all over the world, with all these connections between countries and stuff like that. Like that's another point that we talked about earlier tonight about where it's like these other countries that are allies with us, they wanted the president out. They wanted Biden in. They want Biden in. They not necessarily Biden, but they wanted anyone in that wasn't Trump, because apparently he was slowing down the process of world domination. That's pretty much what Jaron. That's pretty much what you said, right? Earlier.
Those are my thoughts. Yeah, he's slowing down.
It's slowing down world domination, and that's why they wanted him out.
He was trying to.
They didn't care. They didn't care who they put in. They could have put in Kamala. I'm black. I'm Indian. I'm this. I'm Hawaiian. I'm Thai. I'm all this. Harris in there to try and pander to everyone to say that she's Captain Planet pretty much. She's everyone all mixed up into one person.
Yeah.
All the races mixed up into one pretty much. And again, I know that's just a joke or whatever, but whatever. But
that's the image that they're trying to push with her. So
yeah.
You say what?
I said that's the image that they're trying to push with her. So
yeah. And again, it's disgusting the way they're doing it. It's nasty the way they're doing it, but they're doing it, and apparently it worked. So far, it worked.
Oh yeah.
But Jaron, again, I'm glad dude, like that shit fucked me up, bro. Like that article, like that certain section of article where it was talking about the debt forgiveness and stuff like that. Like, dude, I didn't even put that into consideration before reading that article.
Right.
Just an hour ago on here. Like I didn't even think about that. Because that right there is going to get a lot of people on board, no matter where you live, because debt exists everywhere, all over the world.
Yep. So,
okay, how do you get people and people? It does weigh people down. It's one of those obstacles that people have to get over and throughout life, whether it's college, whether it's a car, whether it's house, whatever. World domination is coming. It's coming, and it's coming very fast, because what we just read, that right there, that wasn't just for Canada. To me, that was for the whole world.
Oh yeah, it read as the whole world to me too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It didn't. Yeah. Again, it was the talking. I guess like the what do you call them?
The talking points.
Yeah. Well, that, and I'm trying to think of what to call the
like the specifically named.
Yes. Like
details.
Yeah.
That was the formula.
Details,
the fact if they're like actual,
That to me, that was the formula. That was the formula that they mixed all up and said, hey, here, Canada and US and the rest of the world, here you go. Here's the blueprint of everything we're gonna be doing for the next 12 months. And this could probably start as early as late November. And when is late November, by the way? 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
And what they were mentioning to start in late November was, if I'm not mistaken, was the secondary lockdowns. And what are we already seeing come roll out in late November in other countries? Secondary lockdowns.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more strict, and it's going to be more deaths, more infections, as they say. That's already mutations, as they say.
Yep. And my aunt wonders why I don't want to come for Thanksgiving.
Right. Right. Like
because the media is full of all of that.
Exactly.
I actually had a question that I wanted to pose to you guys. Because you were talking about how like hundreds of years ago, like that was, we were set up. Like do y'all think that like this was the plan hundreds of years ago, was to set us up for world domination?
I do.
Like how many hundreds of years back are we going to like how far back are you going?
Corn, you answer first? I have an idea of how far back I'm going.
Like here's the thing. I want to be a little bit more clear about what I said. I think they set the structure for it. So I don't think they completely knew. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna world domination," but I think
That
they
was
set the structure of having these relationships with other countries, and then having NATO and groups like that having together, because you need more than one country, obviously, to dominate the world. You need more than one power to dominate the world. So what do you do when you have a group of people that have all this power? They set it on an umbrella under themselves to now have all these different branches to pander to these countries. So again, not to get too nerdy here and try and compare it to comic books again and stuff like that, but it's basically what it is. It's basically like, all right, it's this big table. We got US here, we got Japan here, blah, 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 whatever, right? All these different companies, not companies, all these different countries, well, you could say companies, all these different countries have their own agenda that they're trying to put, or their own ways of agenda of trying to push. So it's all one agenda, but it's different ways of how they're trying to pander to their people. With the US, it's a number of things. With Canada, it's the same things. With certain countries, the way they're structured, that's how they're going to present it to their countries. We're structured in a political, in a republic structure. Even though we talk about democracy and all other bullshit, but it's a republic structure. That's what they're giving us as Americans. They're saying, hey, we can fight each other over this stuff. We can fight each other over dumb, stupid shit. Because then if we can get them to fight each other, we got their brains. We got them. We say, hey, let's give them this person. Let's give them this image and say, hey, this person's going to end all this disagreement. This person's going to end all this, or, this bill is going to pass all this and blah, blah, whatever. And then in other countries, it's, hey, look, fam, you're just going to do whatever we tell you to do because, well, we're in charge, And eventually U.S. is going to get to that point because we're all human. We're all rebellious. And America, we kind of have this little chip on our shoulders because, American pride, right? And all this other stuff. So it's there's so many different ways they're going to, excuse my language here, fuck us. There's so many ways they're gonna fucking do that it's not even funny, because for everyone that thinks, oh, they're not gonna do, oh, I'm safe, I'm good, blah blah blah. No, I don't care if you're a lawyer, I don't care if you're a nurse or you're homeless. It doesn't even I don't care if you're a movie star. It doesn't matter. We're all going to pay our debt in some way.
Yep. As a citizen, right?
We are all gonna quote unquote get got.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess for my answer for how far back, I mean, we could go back to the 12 and 1300s with like the Rosicrucians and like all these secret societies that came out of England that have somehow still made their way over to America, and then even a little bit earlier, well, a little bit later, I guess you could say, as a proper term, 1913, the creation of the Federal Reserve. He who controls the money, controls the power, and they set up this organization of basically think tanks and bankers to set up this global, well, not like this central funding organization for all of the United States, one bank to run all the banks. And then we had the Great Depression, and then we went off the gold standard in the 70s. All that carries into controlling the narrative, because if you, like I say, if you control the money, you control everything. So it's been, and I know I skipped like 800 years there, but you could take it as far back as you want to.
Yeah.
There's evidence, far, like I said, far back as the 1300s, 1200s, when
Right.
it was the same families that had influence back then had influence into the 1990s and the 2000s. So in some form or fashion. So
Yeah.
it's,
and again,
yeah.
I'm not too well versed into history, as well versed in history as like the people I surround myself with, like Jaron or James, where you guys know so much about the history, not just of America, but of the world. Me, not too much. I'm a very observant person. Like they always say, smart man or a smart person learns from their own mistakes. And then they say a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. I'm one of those people that I'm a little bit of both. And as I've gotten older, I've learned from other people's mistakes. And I've learned that, okay, my life could have turned out totally different if I didn't learn from seeing so-and-so fuck up over there. Or, this could have turned out a different way for me over here in this part of my life if I did not notice that, oh, this person that I know fucked up in this certain aspect of their life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and now with the wiseness, and as I've gotten older and being in my mid-20s and stuff like that, like I started noticing. And hell, I'd say probably 21, 22, I started noticing, especially working for the government. I started noticing firsthand. I'm like, whoa, shit's fucked. And that's when I started observing and I started saying, okay, this is happening, that's happening. Okay, and then I got Jaren in my ear 24/7 when I first got into the military. It was like, yo, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Here's this, here's that, here's evidence of this, here's evidence of that. And eventually, I just looked it up for myself and I said, oh shit, it's not too far off. And it wasn't just Jaren, but Jaren was the main one. And then that's when I started having this whole mindset of like, I really do need to be aware of the shit that they're not telling us, because what they're telling us and what they're showing on the media is the same stuff over and over again. If you really think about it, it's the same shit they're giving us over and over again. Yep. This year, how many times, how many riots and shit have we seen? How many riots and shit have we seen because a black man was killed by white men since 2015? Countless. Yeah. And it's to me, I think, and I know I've said this plenty of times before here on Comrades, we are so we're so not dehumanized. We're so desensitized to dehumanization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yet we're not desensitized by bad words. We're not desensitized by opinions.
Offensive,
we're so sensitive to sensitive to people's opinions, but yet we're not sensitive to literally logging into Facebook on a Facebook Live and watching a man shoot 6 people on Facebook Live.
Right.
And not thinking that there's something wrong with that. And we're saying, this, a man shot 6 people on the streets and he's on a run and it's got 12 million views. But yet someone's being canceled because they had an opinion indifferent than what Hollywood has. There's something wrong. That's where I try to put 2 and 2 together, where I'm like,
or something came up like 6 years ago that didn't need to come up, but came up anyway.
Yeah.
Or 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Yeah, exactly. I had an incident in mind, but yeah, you could really throw out any number at this point.
Right. Look at Bill Cosby. He was getting called on shit that happened in the 70s.
Right.
Come on now. Half a century later getting called on shit. So yeah, I mean, what the media is telling us to pay attention to, what the media is telling us to get mad at, it's the same shit over and over again. And that's when I started realizing, I'm like, and I'm glad I realized it early on, or else I would be a sheep just like everyone else, and I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I do need to vote, maybe I do need to do this and make a difference.
Right.
But like seriously, nothing. Everything they're telling us is to get us away from what's really happening, i.e., the 2 articles we just read tonight.
You don't say. You don't say. Damn. Well, anybody got any final words, man, before we close this thing up?
No.
Yay, nay.
Mm-mm.
Mine's the same thing every time, man.
Right.
Be aware that it shit is coming. And also, by the way, cheap plug. Speaking of shit coming, got some really big stuff happening on HAP. No pun intended. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah,
it's some fire shit coming.
I like the abbreviation, HAP. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. To be honest, I'm so dumb that like it took me like 3 months to actually figure out that I could have an abbreviation on my show. Like I was like, wait a minute, I was like, oh, HAP. Okay. It took me like 3 months after I named my podcast. So yeah, it took me
better late than never. Which I'd argue it ain't really that late. So, but yeah, man, I don't really have anything else to either. Shout out to Elise for coming on. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always good to have guests on.
For
sure.
Always. We're on a roll, man. We've had guests the last 2. We had people just come in the last 2 streams. We're making progress here, man.
Well, I got challenged today.
Good shit. You got what?
I got challenged.
Oh, okay.
I had to pick a point.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad that we challenged you enough to want to come on and
no, it was
talk,
good.
So.
No, it was good.
Fuck yeah.
Always enjoy listening. So it was fun to be a part of
sure.
the actual conversation.
For sure.
And it's good to show our viewers too that we have female listeners.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's true.
We actually have a lot of female listeners. I think like 30% of our listeners are female. If I looked at the analytics right.
There you
Oh,
go.
really?
Yeah, it's actually quite a few. Yeah.
We'll start jumping in.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, again, thank you for coming on. I just want to say to everybody watching, if you're still watching at this point, thanks for watching. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like, subscribe. We got fire shit coming. We also got some shit in the works that, again, I haven't told Corn about. But that's coming soon.
He keeps mentioning that. He hasn't told me.
Yeah.
Corn doesn't know. Corn doesn't know.
If you didn't know, Corn doesn't know.
Corn doesn't know. In case you didn't know, he doesn't know.
Just to let you all know, Corn is out too. Okay.
That's funny, but yeah, man. I think that's gonna do it for the Comrades tonight. Again, thank you, Elise, for coming on. Thanks, everybody watching. I was gonna play some music at the end, but I don't have a song pick.